for you yet. He's ready to go. We're going to introduce you and everything. He turns off the screen. He's like, Lee.
He's going to disappear, then we're going to reappear. So
yeah, Lee was notorious for that for a while. I know some of you probably weren't on those calls before, but when Lee would get frustrated, like if we were like teaming up on him and teasing him, he would just turn his camera off and leave. But there he goes again. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. We were just kind of like, chatting it up a little bit before we get started, but we usually get started. Actually, now is a good time to get started because it's a little after, it's 10 after now.
Well, that's where like Randy's so passionate that that's what I love about him. That's why he's just a great guy. It's a great guy to be partners with.
Hold on, Lee, before you get started, I actually gave you host instead of co-host. Can you
send
it back to me? And by the way,
only if you say please.
Pretty please.
All right, let me do that right now.
And by the way, Lee, I know this has nothing to do with this call, but I'm still laughing about me calling Mark Melty that day. On that
that's funny.
Oh my God, I was so embarrassed.
All right, I think we're ready. We've already been on Facebook Live for like over a minute now. So thanks everyone for joining us for another Modern Agent Blueprint. And we have an incredible special guest, a very handsome young man. That's probably one of the best lenders I've ever met. And I'm going to hand it over to Nicole to do the formal introduction.
Oh man. All right. So I want to welcome you guys all again today too. Awesome to have you all here. So today we're actually going to be talking about something that we've been kind of doing in the background. We announced it a while ago, and this is our official launch of our national real estate referral network. So what we're going to be doing, and Randy's going to go into this a lot more, is Randy, he does a lot of stuff with a lot of big teams, that are nationwide teams, and doing referral business with a lot of people, lead generation, all kinds of stuff like that, which he'll get into a little bit more. But what we're doing is actually turning our Modern Agent Blueprint into a referral network, and not just like agent to agent, but actual live transfer leads and leads that are going to be going out to agents across the country. So what we're trying to do is grow a national group referral network where Randy gets a lead in. He's going to have people all throughout the country that can use, get these leads, close some deals, and use Randy as the lender. And Randy is an awesome lender. We actually just partnered with him recently, and we've been super impressed with his business. And he's been a realtor. He was one of the top, what was it, Randy? Top four real estate teams in Michigan say it again. I feel like I'm jumbling up numbers.
No, we were number 2, 3 years in a row.
Okay, so he was a EXP agent, big team in Michigan here for a long time, moved over back into the mortgage world. He's going to give his whole little spiel here in a second. But he does a lot of coaching for the team, a lot of great stuff. We're just super excited to have a partnership with him. And we've been really impressed with him so far on the lending side too. And Jen's shaking her head yes, because she's did a deal with him before and was really impressed with him. And now hopefully she's going to do some more deals with him. But Randy, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can give us like the whole spiel on everything, because I think there's going to be some people who are excited to join this network. I will post in the chat in just a few minutes the link to go ahead and join. I want you guys to hear Randy talk first, and then I'm going to put the link in the chat so everyone who's interested in being a part of this network can put their info in there and then hopefully get some deals. So Randy, I'm going to give it over to you.
Perfect. Thanks so much for the intro, and sorry for messing up the intro on the same token. So I apologize for that.
You got excited. It's okay.
I did. I just got it going. I just had fun. I had fun with it. So I'm going to make it like about me brief. So I've been in the business. I started lending 22 years ago. One of the reasons I got into lending was because we were losing our house to foreclosure as a family, and I needed to understand how not to lose our house. So I was 19 years old trying to find a way how not to lose our house. We had a first and second mortgage attached. So I got into the mortgage business by the age of 20, and I did because I was forced to. I didn't know anything about mortgages at all. I was 20 years old, and I was looking to save our family a situation after a messy divorce. So Long story short, we started, my first loan I ever closed, I didn't understand what the hell I was doing. And after that, within 6 months, I was, I got a pretty good grasp on what I was doing at the age of 21. And by the first whole year, I was like one of the top producers at a company, for any of you guys that know, a company called Lone Giant back in the day. Within 3 years, I was recruited by another company. I took a company from 12 people to literally 220 people. I was a vice president of sales within 6 months. Great. Everything was phenomenal. I was on top of the world. We're making a few $100,000 a year. I thought I was untouchable. Untouchable. I was 25, paid for a condo. I mean, this was great stuff, And what happened at the end of my 25th year, I went from making like $340,000 a year to making like $70,000 a year, and questioning all my investments and losing everything, and going from like $300,000 in the bank to like 10,000 in my bank account, which was the same year I got engaged, which is the same year I got my real estate license in 2007. So all the bad stuff that was happening all at one time, and I was just sitting on top of the world, led me to constantly always be afraid, look behind myself, and then always work harder than everybody else, because I knew that if I worked harder than everybody else, I could do better than everybody else. But that was the big thing. I always outworked everybody because I was always afraid of what just happened to me. So fast forward 2007, 2010 to 2017, we had 3 kids. I worked from home all that time. I just wanted to be a good dad. I changed diapers, I fed the kids and all that stuff. It was great. But I never actually went off on my own. I just wanted to be home with my family and see my kids grow up. Then in 2017, end of 2017, I opened up the mortgage side. And by that time, guys, just so you know, when I tell you, like, I've been there, and whenever I'm telling you, I fought through it and I did it. So just so you know, personally, I did $25.6 million in real estate and another $75 million in mortgages. And if you guys don't know, like, thank you for that. But if you don't, like, that's like hard. And I didn't have any assistance. Like, I didn't have people helping me. I was working at that time because I really wanted to prove myself. I was working like 17, 16-hour days. I was working sometimes till like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up at 5 in the morning. Long story short, I joined EXP in 2017, 2018. We had the number 2 team in the state of Michigan, literally from the second year we joined to the year that I stopped practicing real estate. And why did I say I stopped practicing real estate? We stopped practicing because I wanted to put my focus where it should be. I wasn't a good leader anymore on the real estate side. I realized that my last year in real estate, where I made that shift. I wasn't a good leader, and that's why good leaders are very important. But I recognize that I didn't want to monetize on my people. So what I did is I said, okay, this is done. I'm not doing this anymore, guys. I'm going to send you can go to this team, wherever you want to go. Have at it. My focus is on mortgages. Why am I telling you all this backstory? Because I was a realtor from 2007 to 2021. Before I spent 14 years doing it. I was at National Realty Centers before I came to EXP, guys, and Lee Merades knows them very well, and Lee could verify this. I was National Realty. There was 300 agents at National Realty. I was their top agent.
You were number 1.
Yeah, I was number 1 5 years. My last 5 years there. So anything I'm going to tell you, please don't take it with a grain of salt, but take it and understand, like, this is how you become number 1. All right. All that. So you kind of know my backstory, a little bit of all that jazz. Great. Why did I give up $1 million in real estate to do what I'm doing now? Because it allows me to be a better leader and a better partner if I'm just focused on the real estate side of things. Okay. What you have to do, the reason I asked that question that Christine answered almost exactly right, was because we don't do the things that the 98% do. We have to do the things that the top 1 or 2% do. And it's something I talk about frequently. And it's something that people don't really let hit home when they really think about what success really means. If I'm going to do the thing that 98% of the people want to do, and that means making excuses, that means not getting on a regimen, that means potentially even not working out to be the best version of yourself every morning so you can push yourself, because what happens is your mind starts kicking into high gear once you start doing things that actually put it in high gear. Some of those things is activity. I think energy causes more activity in the brain, and that allows you to be sharper, right? So one of those things is not being regimented, not getting on the phones 2-3 hours a day, and not planting multiple seeds. So planting multiple seeds, what I mean by that is, well, a person that was going to fall in the 98% says, you know what, man, we have this new lead source, a modern agent blueprint. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put all our eggs in this basket. We're just going to work those because that's going to make me rich. It doesn't work like that. People that are successful plant multiple seeds, because what happens is, as you plant one seed, and I'm going to say what my seeds would be if I were you. So my seeds would be calling expireds, FSBOs every single day, 2 hours a day. My seed would be creating a network of business professionals that send business to me. My seed number 3 would be finding a lead source through one of my partnerships. My seed number 4 would be community development, community involvement. Now these 4 seeds, what happens is they take time to really, to come to fruition. But what happens is one day you're looking up and you have 4 or 5 trees above your head, and you can start picking off, fruit from all these trees. You see, if I just bet on one tree or one seed to be planted and then to grow, and I'm waiting on those, those fruit to fall, or I'm picking on those fruit, then, that tree could die. That tree could have a bad harvesting season. So many things could happen. But if I plant multiple seeds, that's how I truly become successful. There was a time when, you guys heard the numbers that I was doing. I'm going to say something, not shamefully, because I'm not shameful about it. I'm very proud of it. I didn't cold call at all, guys, for 5 straight years. You know what I did for marketing? I put a magnet on people's refrigerators. That's all I did. That was my only focus. So if you think about that, if you really think about that, means I was driving in that much business just by putting up a magnet and waiting for calls to come in. Yes, because I had planted those seeds the 5 years prior. So that's why it's so important for you guys right now to come in and to do this. Like, granted, take advantage of what we are offering today. But if you're an agent that's doing 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, and you're wondering how, you become like a Julia Merades and do 15, 20, 25 million, like, it didn't happen by accident with her. So because I said her name, before I go on to talk about the leads, I'm going to ask Julie about what I just said right now. Would you agree with some of those things?
I would. But I would also add, get involved in things you love as well. Just meet a lot of new people, because that's, especially last year where the bulk of my business came from, similar to community involvement and similar to business, but, get that network of good friends out there too, that are going to continue to refer you.
Can you get more specific? Like, I heard you just got a listing that was almost $2 million. Can you tell us where that came from?
Yeah, that's a former tennis friend. Well, I don't play tennis so much anymore, but that's who the seller is. Someone I used to play tennis with when I was really playing a ton of it.
Which is phenomenal. But you might not like tennis, you might like pickleball, but trust me, go play pickleball, meet some people on the court.
That's what I do now.
Well, pickleball's phenomenal. I love it.
Are better off playing that. And so the same thing's happening, meeting a lot of new people that way. So get involved in things that you love and meet people that way as well.
Yeah, because so many people, what we do is we count our clients. So for example, if we have 10 clients looking, we don't realize that if we go out and we meet 10 or 15 or 20 new people, we could potentially have another 10 clients. The more people you come in contact with, it's funny, they call me the king of the king of referrals, because I tell this story. This is funny, but this you can really relate to. We're on a cruise, we're in the middle of the ocean, we're on a cruise ship. And I told this story to my team last week, and they were just laughing about this. It was crazy. But look how crazy it is. Who has been in the elevator? If you could just show me by a raise of hands, who's been in the elevator and just had an awkward silence, like going down? Anybody experience that? Well, so now I'm anti-silence in an elevator. I'm going to break silence no matter what happens. And I made one comment to a guy who had his 2 kids and his wife. It was me, Jimmy, who you guys, I think, met Jimmy last week. We're on this thing. And I was talking to Jimmy about real estate in the elevator. And then the guy made a comment to me. He said something like, "Oh, you guys do real estate?" I said, "Oh yeah, we do real estate. Jimmy's the best over here, blah, 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 blah." Long story short, guys, he gets a mortgage. When we come back, because I made them exchange information on the cruise ship, he follows up with him, gets a lead in North Carolina, which we're licensed in North Carolina, for $280,000 for a property that he's buying. But guess this, chance encounter. Guy's a property manager in North Carolina, knows 100 different realtors, sends us 4 realtors. That following Tuesday, we got back from the cruise ship. 4 realtors who sent like another 5 trends or 5 deals or 5 leads over. So it's all about, like, all the shots that you take, not the shots that you don't take. So having those, those chance encounters, wherever you want to go, to a bar, to a grocery market, wherever you are, have those conversations, make someone smile, have a nice comment, leads, that stuff will work out for you. That's enough about that. That's my philosophy on what we do to earn more business. But here's my game plan for what we're going to do to get you all more business. So how are we providing leads? How are we getting leads nationwide? How do we provide leads for one of the biggest downlines in EXP right now and plan on providing more? I have about 35 people making calls out there. These 35 people make calls to various lead sources that we have. One of those lead sources, we basically focus on first-time home buyers. So we see roughly right now in the 20 states that we're in, we see anywhere between 25 and 30 leads a day. Those 25 and 30 leads a day are coming from people that have actually pooled their credit and have shown interest. This is open for all brokerages, absolutely, and have showed interest in buying a home. Now look, I have my people call, and if they can, they're going to warm transfer that client over to you. Lee's taken the time to create a network which he really wants to expand with the modern agent blueprint. We don't care what company you're with. I don't care. Listen, guys, I'm going to say this. Don't hate me for it, Lee, Nicole, Julie. I don't care if you're EXP, Remax, whatever, Keller Williams, whatever company you are. We want to see everyone in Modern Agent Blueprint thrive. And that's their commitment. Lee has told me that too. Yep. Listen, we love the company, we love EXP, but we love everyone who's willing to put the work in to better themselves in the industry. That's what I believe, and that's what the belief is from the people who started.
That was the founding principle of the Modern Agent Blueprint. It wasn't an EXP thing. It was just, how can we provide value to the people that show up and participate with our group?
Yeah, and that's how it should be, because I feel like, that's one big thing is we don't have a lot of places to go where, we can just figure out how do we provide value for each other. Well, this is a way that we figure that we can, okay? Now, how does it work when you get a lead, all right? Has anybody, if you could just show by show of hands, has anybody spent more than $3,000 a month on public leads? So a good amount of us have. I would say about half the people in this Zoom have. And have any of you thought that when you were spending that money on leads, that if you got a lead that wasn't very well qualified, or from Fred Newman, way more, I know, we've been there. If you have a lead that's not very well qualified, that, do we have a script or a game plan to how we're going to convert those people to be better quality leads? Are we triple tapping these leads? For example, I call, buyer says, I'm not interested. What do we say to them after that? That's the question that we really got to tackle.
Do you know anyone who is?
I'm sorry?
Do you know anyone who is interested?
Do you know who? So that's great, right? So the way that I explain talking to clients on the phone, when they say to me, I'm not interested, I got to get them on the roll to say yeses. So my thing is I think of this as a straight path, okay? Oh, and you guys might say, well, how do you know anything about leads if you didn't work leads and you were getting all referral business? I spent the first 10 years of my career only taking calls. Well, first 7 years of my career, only taking calls and only working leads. And I work Monday through Sunday, every single day, about 8 hours a day, even Saturdays and Sundays. So that's the only reason, my team put me to the test last week and said, well, you don't call anymore. You don't know anymore about calling leads. I said, well, give me the phone. First person I call, put the headset on. What do? Say, hey, this is Randy calling from National Mortgage Home Loans. I'm not interested. And he hung up on me. Funny story though. I have the recorded call. I can post it for you guys if you want. So I get back on the phone. My brother called me out in front of 3 people. One of them, Hunter Potter, and a couple other people. And he says, okay, next one. I said, no, call that guy right back. So he calls that guy back. And I said, sorry, sir. I think our communication got dropped. This is Randy calling from National Mortgage Home Loans. Just wanted to tell you, did you have your credit pulled for the blah, blah, blah. Anyways, 13 minutes later, I have a full application. They go, you're like magic. That was unbelievable. I say, well, yeah, it's like riding a bike. You don't lose it. Like, you know how to talk to people. That's the biggest thing, is you got to know how to talk. And one of the first things that they recognize, and I had my whole team listen to the call, about 80 people out there, to show them I wasn't as old as they thought I was. But what we got to keep doing is we got to get them going back to yes, right? So client says, well, I'm not interested. I didn't call for this. Well, did you have your credit run because you wanted to get a mortgage? Yes, that's awesome. Hey, did you get a good quote from your lender? No. Do you want a second opinion? Well, he's my friend. Well, you know what? How about if I give you a better deal? Will you come, will you think about doing business with? Yes. So it always goes back to that. Yes. Like, so if a client says to you, he gets on the phone, I'm going to pick on Maria. You ready, Maria?
I was multitasking. What's up?
All right. Can I pick on you, do a role play?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be the client, you be the realtor. And you found me on realty.com. That's how you got my information. Or sorry, yeah, realty.com. Okay. Ready? Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Maria Reyes. I'm a realty.com preferred realtor and a realtor in the local area that you're looking in. Can I help you with looking or finding a home?
No, I was never inquiring about a home.
I didn't have your info in front of me because usually the city.
Yeah,
price
100%.
point- Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, but no, I wasn't interested in getting a home. I just clicked and I was looking at this one home.
Okay, can I provide you some more information on it?
No, I already have a realtor I was working with.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Let me know if that doesn't work out, but I'd love to send you the information on the property so that you can see what it's about. And if your current realtor isn't available to show it to you or work with you, please give me a call back. I'd love to help you out.
So I like it, but a little bit like, so I'm a little bit more aggressive when I push on it. And these role plays, guys, like next time we jump on, I'm gonna jump on for a whole hour doing role plays. And I want you to do it. And Melissa says, great plug for realty.com. And the funny thing is, we talked about this. We want to make one of the sessions where actually Melissa brings her people to role play and I'll role play all day. So one of the things I say to them when they say to me, well, I already have a realtor. And the first thing that I say back to them is, God, I really respect that loyalty to your realtor. And I hope they're doing a great job for you. But hey, if you found another realtor potentially that could show you more houses, or maybe works a little bit harder, maybe someone that closed $10 million a year in real estate and really has proven their track record, would you be open to working with somebody else? And that's what I lead into, because I never want to shit on their relationship. But what I do want to say is, I want to say, hey, if you're fighting against somebody, you're going to fight against somebody like me. And you better be able to win, because negotiations is not for the faint of heart. Finding somebody their dream house is not the faint of heart. Hey, if you put a $3 million agent against someone who closed $25 million in real estate, you better be damn straight I'm going to win that deal. And I say that to them in a very roundabout way, to not make them think that I am, again, shitting on their relationship. I don't want them to feel that. Brian's 100% right. Are you under contract? That's one big thing is, if you have, for example, any sort of buyer agency listing agreement, we stay away from that, because that's obviously not ethical. But that's a big thing. And you know what we noticed, Brian, too, just to touch on that, 90% of people we speak to say they don't have buyer agencies. It's a lot of times people don't sneak in the buyer agencies so the first offer goes in, and especially in today's market. Whereas we get those buyer agencies signed ASAP. A lot of teams are not organized and they don't get them signed. But Brian's 100% right. That's not a point that I brought up, and it's very important. We never, even our agents out there, when they're getting you guys leads, that's one question they ask. Obviously, are you working with an agent? Do you have a signed buyer agency or a signed contract? If they do, we step off it completely. And we could probably have another 30, 40 more, but we don't believe in obviously violating the ethical code. So that's what we want to go back to. So give me another, if you could, just give me another response for anyone that work public leads. What other thing are you getting from them? Brian.
You looking for like
other things that you hear from public leads, a reason they wouldn't work with you, a reason that they wouldn't want to do business with you, a reason they want to rush you off the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually my cousin's a real estate agent. I've been talking with somebody. I'm not real serious right now. Those types of things.
That's awesome. So let's take the real serious right now, because we talked about how to provide value for yourself as an agent. Mm-hmm. So when someone says real serious right now, the first thing I say to them, so if you found a home today that you could buy today, that would be your dream home, are you telling me that you wouldn't want to buy that home? A home that you lose sleep over that you wouldn't get? I make it very emotional at that point, because everyone has a reason they were looking for homes. Whether they wanted to downsize, they wanted to upsize, they wanted to move by a lake, they wanted to move by the downtown area. There's always a reason somebody is willing to buy, right? This works for realty.com leads. This works for the leads that we're going to give you. It's really not a different script. Does anybody know the true conversion for example, Zillow.com leads for the past 3 years before this year? Does anybody know what the actual national conversion rate is on those leads?
Like 6 to 8%.
I thought it was 3%. Pretty low, like
5.
Brian called it on the head. It's 6%.
No.
It's 6% for the best teams in the nation. That's the national average. For the top tier teams, it's a 6% conversion rate on a lead that's costing you anywhere between $250 and $550 a lead. So unfortunately, today that number has dropped. I talked about this last week, and I'm not afraid to call out the company or to talk about, their lead quality. Melissa is on this call from realty.com, and she can attest to the fact, yeah, lead quality might be less than 6%, it might be 3%, it might be 2%. And then you got to work with her to make that lead quality better, which we do that kind of stuff too. But if you're paying, so much less per lead to get that, to potentially be able to convert that lead, that's an opportunity that you have to pursue. If you have, for example, what we're trying to do with myself, Lee, Julie, Nicole, trying to provide leads for you guys for free, and then take a little cut on the back end, but hey, we're going to try to provide volume of leads for free. That's an opportunity you want to take, because again, it becomes just another seed. If somebody's doing $2 to $3 or $4 million in business and they're wondering how to grow their business, trust me when I tell you, it comes to pursuing every single avenue that you can to get another lead in. It becomes a fact that if you don't call these leads immediately, number one, you're losing valuable time there. But if you're not also following up with them by text message, and believe it or not, you're probably not gonna like this, all of you, but video message. Video message is like one of the biggest things that I'm seeing people from the West Coast doing that we're not doing, and why they have a higher conversion rate. How are you gonna potentially reach out to somebody via phone and connect with them if they don't see your face? Maybe 30%, 20%, 25% of consumers will be moved by the fact that you just called them and had a good conversation with them. But how to really dial in? Chrissy Young says she's been doing videos and getting huge results. How do you really dial in on getting conversion? You have to connect with the client. You have to do something that the 98% is not willing to do. And video messages are the thing. Now, am I going to make a video message for every single lead that I speak to get them to engage with me? Is that what I'm going to do? Because you guys obviously know I might be a little bit busy. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do every single lead, but a meaningful conversation, I'm going to follow up with a video message. And then what you can do is, if you have your drip campaigns correct, and remember, you want to be in the top 2% of the nation. If your drip campaigns are correct, every single time you speak to a lead, you should be triple tapping them 3 days in a row. Don't, if we call and follow up and you say, well, I called, they didn't answer. We don't want to hear that. You have a person that potentially wanted to buy a lead, and we know that because we sent it over to you, okay? That being said, if you call, texted, video message, and you did that even 2 days in a row, we're willing to accept that, hey, that didn't work. Remember, everybody has a life. Most Americans work between 8 and 5 p.m. And most Americans go home and have dinner when they get home, like myself, at 5:30 to 6 p.m. and want to spend time with their children. Most Americans also wake up at 7 to 7:30 to make it to work on time. So you have time in the morning to hit them, but you should be double tapping them at night and one time the next day. So there should be 3 attempted communications within a 24-hour period, hands down, morning, night, next morning. Now, the agent that's going to be in the top 1% has a VA that's going to hit them the next night, the next morning, the next night too. So 3 days. I know how patient that us realtors are. Sometimes you're like, well, I tried the first day, I tried a quadruple attempt and it didn't work. Well, the more you follow up, the more you have a chance to put that person in your CRM. And then again, if you want to make one video that says, hey, this is Randy from realty.com. We did get your information. I attempted to call you. You didn't answer, but here, hey, you see my face. This is who I am. Give me a call when you have time. Boom. You take that, you drop it in your CRM, and every time you drop a new client or a new lead in your CRM, that message goes out. And then you can have a few videos that you make in different outfits that basically drip to them afterwards. That's the kind of stuff that that we would do that's different, or that the teams that are really producing are doing that are different. I'm not saying that every single time, and I hate to say this, like, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but if you're doing less than $3 or $4 million in business, there's no reason you shouldn't make personalized video messages for every single person. But if you're someone like Julie that's doing 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, $1 million a year, that's what I'm Brian Lilly on the digital business card, phenomenal, because I love that. It gives a personal touch and all your information. But Julie, what I see, her more or less doing to stay in touch is, I guarantee Julie probably does visit a little bit old school way like me. She loves, shaking hands and meeting people face to face and showing how good a service she is, that she gives. But imagine, someone like Julie, again, has that automated system that goes out to every single client she meets. Like, for example, Brian says, send a digital business card. Boom. that digital business card goes out, the information goes into the system. And once that happens, the video goes out, from Julia, from Brian, the automated video. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but these are the kind of steps we really got to take to be more successful. Because again, we're not doing what the 98% is doing. We're doing what the 2% is going to do. Are there any questions about anything I already went over right now? There has to be some questions, because the first question that I would ask is potentially, what CRM are you using to make sure that these videos are going out automatically or dripping correctly? So is anybody doing any drip campaigns right now?
We're using
KV Core.
Yeah, we're using Chime.
I think Chime is phenomenal. I think KV Core lacks in some ways.
Really?
My experience, but maybe because I never got really good at. I think as a team we never got really good at using it. It was the most cost effective thing, but I noticed Chime and a lot of the big teams we work with across the US use Chime.
I've been using Isaiah Colton's Ren Nexus, and it's like his new CRM that drips everything. I mean, it automates all of this. So
yeah, man. So I don't know it, Chrissy, but just from meeting Isaiah Colton, he's a rock star, and I can assume because he has that kind of energy. But if you put it into a CRM, it's probably really good. I just haven't seen it myself.
It's a good product.
it's really awesome.
Yeah, that like a follow-up boss is another good one. I know that does it pretty well.
You like Follow Up Boss or Chime better? What would you put first?
I would put them right on the same. I think they both have their positives.
We looked into the differences between that. I wish Dave was on here. There were some differences between Chime and Follow Up Boss. There were some issues with integrations with Follow Up Boss that they didn't have.
Chime is a little easier.
Yeah, so we've heard, and Chime now has an AI bot too that is more, it's not just like a normal bot, it's like an actual, it's a lot different. Hey, Randy, go back in the chat really quick. Christine had a question going back to like your objections. Somebody said, I have to go to the bathroom, and she had no other answers other than, of course. So what would you do if we were role playing and you called me and I said, oh shoot, I got to go to the bathroom, I'll call you back.
I'm like, no worries. If you want, you can just put the phone down. You can go to the bathroom and give me a call back. I'm sorry, and then come back on the phone. I'll wait right here. I don't want them to get off the phone. Like that's my biggest thing is you got them on the phone. Don't get them off. Get them to like you before they get off the phone. So a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll make that person laugh before they get off the phone. Right when you make them laugh, or right when there's a few yeses in a row, and they're actually starting to respond to the questions, I know I've engaged them at that point. And while they're on the phone, another thing that I did on that call that's really funny, I asked the client what was my name 3 times before I got off the phone. And I said, where am I from? National Mortgage. What's my name again? Randy. Okay. At the end of the call, I said, okay, save my number in your phone as Randy, your favorite mortgage person ever. Really, that's what I said to him. And he said, okay, I'll do it. I said, okay, did you do it yet? He goes, no. So you do it now? Okay. I just met the guy on the phone. You might think it's a little bit forward, but again, what are you going to do to compete with me? What are you going to do to compete with Julie? What are you going to do to compete with Nicole? Whoever is a high producer. I don't know all of you yet, but that's my thing. I'm always thinking I'm competing with the best producer in the nation. We had done a deal where we beat out an agent who did at that time, he was doing $100 million in volume, and we just demolished him on a deal. I'm never thinking that, hey, if I do 25, I'm limited to 25. I always think I'm a $100 million agent. I try to act like it. And I would say the same thing. And again, we're talking about leads. We're talking about what we're going to do to provide leads for you, but it goes back to what are we going to do to make sure that we execute on these leads? Again, it goes back to the constant communication, goes back to the follow-up call. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people get new relationships or new leads, and they just didn't follow up with them. They didn't send the lead, the email they promised. They didn't send the lead the contact card they promised. They didn't follow up with the lead a week later or 2 days later or 2 weeks later. Just because a lead doesn't act today doesn't mean that lead, again, that's why the drip campaign is so important. That's why I asked them like the simple question, I see a lot of times like people don't ask, and we ask that question so many times is, hey, do you have anybody else that's looking to buy or sell in your area? Do you have anybody else that can help? Do you have anybody else that has any real estate questions I can help with? We found that constantly giving back and giving information was a good thing for us. That constantly brought back more business. But again, going back to lead conversion, it's not rocket science. I have guys that are 25, 26-year-olds out there making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, calling leads and working public leads. And like I said, I never did it. I can tell you firsthand experience. If you want to jump on a Zoom to role play and to get past this, even if you want to come into our office, Lee, I think I talked about it. Thursdays we have
Thursday. Yep.
Role playing that happens for an hour. Remember, we're not a real estate office, but we do it because we want our realtors to engage with each other. Guys, feel free to come by.
Do you do that? Like, do you ever Zoom that? Because a lot of the people on this call are not local. So
no.
Just no.
The only reason I say no is because like it's so hard. Like it's not even fair. Like for us to Zoom that, they can't engage. They're not getting like, I'd rather do a Zoom where everyone's engaging. And I know it's sometimes hard on Zoom, but once we call out, it's so funny. So we had some success. I think I told you this, Nicole. Like we'll be like, all right, Jennifer, role play with Chrissy. And we all hear it. And it's like, it's great. It sounds good. It's like, it works. But like once we try to mix like virtual and office, even when we do our team meetings, I don't find that it works as well as I want. And we tried this, especially during COVID. And it wasn't crazy about it. That's one reason to call. I don't want to, like, it needs to be impactful. We're all on this call. Hopefully I'm impactful to you. Hopefully anybody that's gave any information was impactful. But I feel like crossing that sometimes. I love in person. If we can't do in person, I love doing all Zoom then.
We had that issue with our team meetings where we actually were live streaming and had it in person. And I was like trying to turn the camera to who was speaking. And it was kind of a shit show.
Yeah, and it's funny. We tried then, Nicole. We were like, okay, well, maybe we'll just jump in the world. You know why I can't stand the world? And I'm sorry to make an EXP alliteration, but the reason I can't stand the world is if I can't see your facial expressions, it drives me freaking nuts. I gotta be able to see it because some people, man, you can tell so much by their facial expressions. Yeah. And the world drives me crazy because I can't see it. So I don't like those meetings either. We used to have our own little conference room in there, and I stopped that too. So sorry, that's why I said no like that.
Ann had a question. Do you have a list of questions we can ask prospects to get a yes answer?
Yeah, I have a script I can share with you guys. But remember,
if you get that to me, I'll put it in Modern Agent Blueprint.
I will. So remember, talking to leads is a conversation. That's opposite. Sorry, I was reading you, Rob. That's exactly what you need to remember. All the time you talk to leads, say, okay, well, hey, I'm busy right now. Oh my God, so am I. I'm so freaking busy, but can I have 1 minute of your time? Knowing full well I'm going to take 3 or 5 minutes of their time. But if you just ask for that, you say you relate to them, that's the basics of ARPing, for example. That's something that you'll see on the scripts. If you just, Rob, are you asking me what's the opposite of no? Because you want me to say yes? Rob?
It was the yes question, to get that yes.
Oh yeah, I mean something like that. Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny sometimes the things you'll do to engage them to say like that to me was kind of funny because I didn't know what you were getting at, but it made me smile, so it unarmed me. You have to get them to do that because remember, what are they hearing right now? They're hearing somebody on the phone calling them, bothering them when they're getting their kids ready for school, when they're at work, when they're trying to prepare dinner. What are you gonna if someone calls me, honestly, as politely as possible, like, hey, this is so-and-so calling from so-and-so. I'm like, thank you so much, but I don't want to talk to you right now. Is all they got to do to keep me on the phone is just wait. And I'll stay on the phone. I swear to God, as busy as I am, I still take the calls and I still try to be polite. But if they just say to me, wait, they could probably tell me what they want to sell me. As much as I'm used to cold call, this and that. I had a guy call me from Zillow. This was 5 years ago. He called, and I said I would never spend no money on Zillow. He called me for 1.5 years straight. His name is Austin from Zillow. He called me from 1.5 years straight, 3 times a week, every week. And I swear I would never spend no money on Zillow. I said, I don't need it. Then I had a team I had to support. So I said, finally, let me just talk to the guy. After 1.5 years, he called me 3 times a week. And then he good personality, but he called me, we'd have conversations. I said, I'm not committing. No, I'm not doing it. Finally, 1.5 years later, I was spending $20,000 a month, $25,000 a month on Zillow to support my team. But it's just funny, like if you just make relationships with people, have conversations, even if you're not going to make money today off it, remember, it's just that seed that you plant, right? And it's no different than these leads. See, we're going to give you opportunity to talk to people that ran their credit at some point to potentially buy a house. That's one. Melissa, the relationship with Melissa, like if depending on how this blossoms, again, you're going to see leads there that clicked something that said they were interested in a house, they wanted to buy a house. We're gonna tee those things up. How you basically take that and run with that ball is gonna be up to you. But it's what is your level of engagement? What are you gonna do to make yourself seem like the top 2% rather than the bottom 98%? And I hate to say it, for your part-time agents, it's gonna be even more difficult. Part-time agents, like, I give all the credit in the world to anybody who's raising kids or, you know, has to work. Like, I don't want to discount that at all, but I'm just saying that level of difficulty is even more difficult. It's more difficult to make sure that you're converting these. So setting a game plan, if you know that you're working part-time, spend 3 hours a day doing the same thing every day. I promise you that will work, but pick what that's going to be. If you think that you're going to respond to leads like once every 2 days, once every 3 days, that's not the way to do it. Do something else. And then, like, maybe on one of the next sessions, Lee, and I think this is something that you could really help with, we can talk about, one of the things that I love to talk about is networking, business professional mining, business professional networks. That's a huge thing for me. That's what I built my whole business on. Funny story, a long time ago, I went into a CPA office. I just said, I'm gonna go get a new CPA today. I went into that office, and today I'm partnered in this building with that CPA. So that tells you how powerful it is just to go make new contacts, create business professional networks. But that's another big C that I like to talk about. And maybe we can do that in a month or two, because I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about me right now.
We love it. I mean, you can always tell, you can always gauge. I always look at how many people have joined the call, and if you would have lost 15 people in the first 10 minutes, then I would have interacted, but we actually gained people. So, and nobody left. That's because you're so good looking.
Yeah, right. I know I scared at least 5 off.
I'm just kidding. So let's talk a little bit about how the program's going to work. And so I have a system. So we're not going to play favorites. I mean, what's going to happen is that when a lead comes in, it's going to get put through a call center, and everyone that's kind of the person in charge of the switchboard will push a button, and everyone, if it's let's say it's Grand Rapids. So all of our agents that are part of our partner network in Grand Rapids, their phones will ring, and it is a speed to lead type thing. So that's the way we're going to kick it off. So in Metro Detroit, I think there's like 20 people in, I know Rob's in Missouri. I think there's only 2 or 3 people in Missouri. So, and what we want to do is that Randy can ramp it up as big as we need to grow this. And like, how many leads do you want to get to, Randy? How many transfers a week? You said 60 a week? No,
so like for this specific team, we're trying to earmark 50 to 60 a week.
Okay.
With a specific modern agent blueprint. Yep. But understand right now, the only reason we're even limited is because we're only in 19 or 20 states. We just got 2 more. I just got Alabama added. I just added Pennsylvania. We're adding another, like literally, we're just waiting for the licenses to pop. 20 more states are opening in the next like 45 days. So that opens us up to be able to buy more, to be able to mine more, and then create more for you. Utah, Chrissy, I think we're there in 15 or 20 days.
And then you're in California, correct?
Yeah, we're in California.
Yeah. So I think that most of the people.
Here, let me give you an idea. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can go right ahead.
Okay. So, I'm not so good at this, so hold on. All right. So National Mortgage. So these are the states that we're in right now. Can you all see that?
Yep.
So all the red are coming soon. All the blue are where we are right now. So it gives you a good idea if you want to take a picture of that. But we'll literally, we just had Alabama open up, Pennsylvania, like just opened up. We'll have all these over here opened up in the next 60. We'll have a lot of these opened up in the next 30. We'll have Utah in the next like 15 or 20, Oregon in the next 15 or 20, New Mexico.
You said Missouri? Said Missouri you were already on, and it says coming soon.
No, Missouri, we're just waiting for them to turn it on. So
Okay.
everything's done in all these places. It just becomes the municipalities, the states, how long they take to, okay, yes, we know we approved you, but let's turn on that license. And some of them are slower, like Missouri, for example, a little bit slower on certain things because they have less people, for example, than I don't know, Texas. Texas was, quick for us because we had our stuff, but it just really depends. Florida was quick, Michigan's quick, Missouri just kind of dragging their feet a little bit. That gives you an idea there. I'm going to stop sharing.
That's great.
So maybe you can talk about, well, when the lead comes off to them, Lee, how does that lead pop off to them?
Yeah, so you're going to want to, it's going to all come from one phone number. And well, first I'm going to, in the chat, I have, if you haven't signed up, there's the form to actually register. I recognize a lot of names that are here. You guys have already registered to be a part. And then what we'll do is when you fill out that form, we take your information and put it into the phone system that when we call in your region. So we're gonna break it. I want to have enough people in the referral group to be able to just specify a region, like such as Grand Rapids, instead of just the entire state of Michigan, because it would be difficult for someone, if a Grand Rapids lead, to be given to someone in Metro Detroit. So, and then the other thing that we're going to have is there's a phone number that I'm going to put in here that will be the number that the leads will be coming from. And then so I'm putting in here, it's the 248-329-1511. So you're going to want to save that and just call it Modern Agent Blueprint Referral Network. Just save that number. And so anytime you get a call from that number, you know that it's a live transfer lead.
So,
and then I'm going to post it in the group and all that as well. But so what I'd like to do is and what's going to happen is that there's going to be someone live on the phone that one of Randy's associates had just talked to. And obviously Randy's doing this for the mortgages because he's getting them pre-approved for the mortgages. And then they ask, are you working with an agent? And, they're going to say, well, we have agents that we refer that are part of our network. And that's how the call is getting transferred to you.
Yeah. And I want you guys to know something though, regarding that, regarding the mortgages. Obviously we want to do all the mortgages we can. And we're going to do a good job of that. And we can talk about kind of when you have your own personal clients you want to refer over, like we want those too. But I want you to know what we're planning on doing with any money that's earned from this program is just making the program bigger. I'm going to make something clear to you in the best way possible. We're not looking to do this program so we can pocket a few extra $1,000 in our pockets or anything like that. What we do here at National Mortgage, we always look to reinvest. And I'm sure Nicole can kind of attest to what our philosophy is. We talked about that. We're looking to put back in. Well, some people say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're just going to reinvest. Yeah, because we know the bigger that we get, the more powerful we make you, the more of a success this is, the more we delivered on our word that we're going to help you grow. So that's a big thing. So as we earn more revenue from this program, we want to put more money, more callers, more people towards it. We want to have the premier network of referrals.
On the form, when you're filling it out, it's I'm in 2 states because Kansas City is right on the border. You got Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. Do you want 2 separate?
Yeah, just fill it out twice. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other part is it asks about what cities. I don't want to put my 4 cities that I already have with Realty.
This is like totally separate from realty.com.
Yeah, to be honest, Rob, you should actually put those cities, because what those cities are saying is you have the ability to service those areas. I wouldn't be taking cities that are 2 or 3 hours away because that's not realistic. But if you have the ability to service a city, you should put it in there.
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is I'm already getting 15 to 20 leads per day. If they're going to another site that you're doing, then you're going to expect a referral fee. And I've already got got them as a lead. So
Yeah.
do you want
Well,
those?
no, it
cities
wouldn't,
put
it wouldn't be
in?
the same. It wouldn't be the same referral source. And these leads are going to be live transfers. So the quality of these leads are going to be far superior to really anything out there, because they've actually talked to the client. They're getting them pre-approved for the mortgage financing. And then they're saying, hey, you know, are you working with an agent? No. Well, I have a great agent that's part of our network. And those are going to perform at a much higher rate than really any other type of lead. So I personally would never ever turn down a live transfer.
Yeah, live
What
transfers.
if you've already, but what if you already have that lead? Will you say, yeah, you got them first?
Well, the chance of that happening are probably very slim, because it's
Yeah.
not, they're
It
not
happens a
getting
lot
from
with
the,
me.
No, so let me.
I've got referral companies across the country that are sending me leads, and I just send them a notice that, okay, here's the entry form that they filled in on this date, which is before you got them. I just want to make sure.
Let me just explain, Rob, because I really want to explain. So when I alliterate to Melissa or Realty.com, we have a partnership with them that has nothing to do with this here. That's separate. That's me supporting my partners, whoever is on this call, separately, just to say, hey, let's further our relationship. Let's plant another seed. What I'm talking about on this call is specifically one thing. I mean, one thing primarily. I mentioned Realty.com because that's a lead source that we're familiar with, we work with. This lead that we're providing is unique to the whole market. Nobody has these leads. These are not shoppers that are going online looking at homes on Zillow, Realtor, because that's what happens. A shopper goes on Realtor.com, they go on Zillow.com, they go on Realty.com, they go on Redfin.com, whatever it is, and that becomes a lead across multiple sites that's getting sold to multiple people within that vicinity, within that area. This is different. This is somebody that's walked into a bank, walked into some type of credit union, applied for a mortgage somewhere, and we get that lead, and then we're converting that to a real estate lead. It's completely unique to any leads that you probably ever dealt with. So just to give you an idea, I've been doing this for 22 years. I've never had it happen where we had, with this lead type, a duplicate. So it's a very unique lead. And if you do see it, it's just because it's kismet. You know, you said it's going to happen, and it happened, and it was a crazy coincidence. Do you have
anybody have? Go ahead, Randy.
I was gonna say, and any of you right now, like as this ramps up, the first thing that I would say is, you take as much as you can yourself, but plan on, hey, if you have a good amount of leads coming in, you need help. Remember, like if you ever need help on, okay, what do I do? Like, do I bring in a buyer's agent now to help me? Like, when is the time to do that? Please let me know, because that was one of the biggest things that allowed me to go from like 12 million to $18 million in business, is timing that, you know, when do I start adding people on? That's a very, very big component too, as you grow. But hey, if you're having that problem, that means we're doing something really right. So
How do you track all these?
I have a couple
is
of
there
questions.
one thing? Is there one big, or do we just track them on our own? Is there one big database that you're tracking them with to see who's following up on what?
We have a tracker, but then remember that they're already been approved for financing with Randy too. So we do have all, you know, everyone that we transfer, we have a record of.
Okay. And then do we have to like update you in the system there on what we're doing on it, or no?
Well, we are going to be doing a monthly. Right now, we're going to start with monthly, but we probably would. I think we ultimately want to do we will send out. We're going to get to the point where we send out an email and have you update the leads that you got. So we're working on, based on how it launches. We're going to keep spending more and more time to really help you guys, because we want this to be successful.
Hey, I have a few questions for you. Is there a limit of how many cities we can ask for?
No.
Okay. Can we give you more than one number to call? So I have my ISA person, I have my business partner. So if you're trying to do a live lead transfer, we do have the free And we're working on that with EXP, where they have the number where you can have multiple people. So maybe we just give you that, so it round robins to all of us, or what? Or can we give you each person's number? What would be the best?
Just give us each person, and then
Yeah.
all their phones will automatically ring. That'll be
Okay.
the easiest.
Chrissy's asking a great question, but what she's telling me, what I'm hearing right now is she's trying to figure out a way to really attack this like a small team already.
Yeah.
And she does that.
She's
She's
got
trying
that
to,
mindset.
and I love that. That tells me a lot. So I appreciate that thought about that, Chrissy.
Okay.
That's because
so-
she's a renegade.
That's right. Well, this is an awesome opportunity, and I'm really excited about it. And I actually invited an agent that I really like, that we've been working a deal together, and she's here too. And I was texting her saying we could split the states. I'll take up north, you take down south. We'll just do this. But
What state is it, Chrissy?
Utah.
Yeah, we should be like live like anytime soon. Like, and I hope, because
That's awesome.
I think that you're going to be aggressive, and I like to work with aggressive agents very much so.
Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna grow my team, so you can just send all of Utah. Maybe I'll just put that in. Utah, send it to me.
Lee's in charge of that.
And the squeaky wheel, like we want everyone to be aggressive and speak up. And I mean, because ultimately we want the people that are going to work the leads hard to get the deals. And if you do that, you'll be successful.
100% agree.
Well, and live leads, you guys, like I made my money off of live leads when Zillow was like flowing like milk.
When Zillow was actually good, Chrissy, you mean?
Yeah. And those live leads were coming in, because my conversion rate, once they're already warmed up and you call, like it was like 99%. Like I rarely didn't get the deal if it was a live lead. So that's why I'm trying to help. Like everybody needs to understand, like you're kind of like, I don't know, live lead, like 30%, I do it all day long, because you're just going to get a higher transfer rate. And really, and then think about the referrals you get off of that and everything you can build off that, because it goes into your SOI. Like it's money. A lot.
Yeah, remember that's another big thing like people don't think about, Chrissy, and this is what used to drive me nuts. If you're getting a lead, you're paying a referral on the first one, for example, you're not paying on the referrals after that. That's a big thing, right? Well,
yeah.
remember too, so when Chrissy, you started with Zillow how long ago?
Like 7 years ago.
Okay. So 7 years ago, when Zillow promised us, for me, it was 6 or 7 years ago, we were spending at that time, like I told you, 20,000, then they gave you the bonus money. Then they said, well, we're going to give you we're going to give you live transfers. This many, we'll promise you this many a month. And what happened to those live transfers, Chrissy? What happened to the lead counts?
They went down.
It went down like crazy. Live transfers went from like 50 live transfers a month for that 20,000 to 5. And then keep in mind, if you went on Zillow Flex, or you joined a team that had Flex, or you joined a team that was spending money on the leads, what happened with that is you were at that time contributing to the team members. So the people that were on Zillow Flex or on a team that was selling Zillow, the team leader was getting 1%, Zillow was getting 1%, and then the realtor was getting 1%. So now you're left making 33% on that lead. So we didn't want to we just want to say we need enough to, hey, let's pay for the program, let's expand the program, but we want you making a majority of that money. So that's why this does give you the opportunity to, yes, you're not on a team, you're not forced to be on a team or anything like that, but you still get a chance, to potentially take on warm transfers and to earn that new business. And I thought that was very powerful.
Randy, what did you say? You only pay the referral fee on the first one?
Well, no, you only pay the referral on, so I was talking to, was it Dan Bear? No, I was talking to Kyle Whistle, actually. Kyle Whistle was like, yeah, sometimes we spend 2% to get the first lead. But once we get that lead, we know we can mine that lead. And we know that we can get all the referrals from that lead. So I was like, you tell me you spend up to 2% to earn new business? He said, yeah, we spend up to 2%, whether it's concessions, whether it's paying for that lead, the marketing in that lead, whatever it is, we spend 2%. Because why? We know the value is, let's get them in our sphere, and then let's mine them to get all the referrals. So what I'm telling you is you're only paying into Modern Agent, whatever it is, 30% for that first time, because every lead that you get that you close, you pay 30% on them. But when people stop to think, okay, well, I got a lead, I just paid 30%, I just lost a third of my commission, that's the wrong mindset. I just gained a new client and I made 2% that I didn't pay anything for.
Right.
And then now I get to mine that client, do his future deals, because you know, if that client moves in a year, that's your lead. If that client gives you his brother or sister, that's your lead. See, people that stop to think, yes, I closed the deal now, that's all. No, you can't stop there. How do I?
No, they
ask
become a
for
past
more?
client.
What's that?
Yeah,
They become a past client and then you keep.
100%.
exactly.
Plus, who gives a shit? You didn't pay for the, you know what I mean? Like you pay on the back end. Who cares? Yep, I swore. That's right, Lee. Shake to that head.
I swear like 5 times. So just know that's a part of my vernacular. Right?
Me too.
But Jennifer, seriously, that's how I built my whole business. I started with Zillow back in the day when Zillow was good. I was converting them like crazy. Then you put them in the system. 75% of my business is return clients and referrals. 75%.
That's 100% of my business. I built my whole business on that.
Right. So
it's my jam.
Right. So when you think about when you can feed that, and it doesn't have to be just off of that you feed it with something else, it's just going to blow up in your face because you're already, obviously, if you've already done 100% SOI, that's what you need to think about. If you've already done 100% SOI and now somebody's handing you a live lead, somebody who's pre-qualified, ready to go, boom.
I don't understand business any other way. I mean, like, why would somebody, my brain doesn't work the other way. Like it only works going forward and then building bigger. Like, you know?
Yeah. A lot of times people just like, Lee, I hope you and Nicole are not mad. I think we went over the hour.
No. I mean, I do want to go head to Marco Island in a few minutes, but I still have time. I still have a half an hour.
Yeah,
I should point out real quick that Stephanie is on here too. So you got both of us. And then Nicole popped away. So where is she?
She went to an
inspection. But yeah, Stephanie, we're all out of leads. We only can allow one in your city, Stephanie.
Sorry, Jen, you're out.
I love a smart ass. That's good.
All right, guys, I think that's enough. We gave you a lot of information today. We'll be following up, obviously. I do want to do a role play one, so maybe we can get together. We'll collaborate with Melissa, with Lee, with Nicole. I think Jennifer would be good for jumping on these, on how we can, win, through successful role playing. I think that's going to be a good thing to hit on because I think a lot of times people just get afraid. And I think sometimes people know the answers of what to say, but once they get live on a role play, they get stumped, and we want to stump each other. The more we stump each other, the more
freezes up.
Yes, I want to do this. Randy, me and Steph will come to your office because we're not far away. I'll go grab her ass.
You let me know. I'm tomorrow, Thursday. I think we're doing the live, but you come anytime. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Cheryl, you have a question.
What time do we open? We usually get here about 6 a.m. and we leave about.
No, not open. No, I don't do that. But what time do we role play?
Tomorrow, Tony, 12 o'clock.
Yep, that's all right.
12 to 1 is the role play. Are you just saying that? Oh.
No, it's on the calendar, Randy.
Okay.
All right, Cheryl, ask away.
Yeah, I was just curious, and you may have already said it, which I feel like I was paying attention and maybe just missed it, but how would we get in contact with you to see like if our area, like how do we pinpoint our area? How do you do that?
So you essentially do the sign-up sheet. And once you do the sign-up sheet, we just essentially add you in. So once a lead pops up in that area, see, we have the opposite problem that we thought not really the opposite. So we have we're spraying very wide, but now we're trying to dial in certain areas. And once we have a big concentration of agents, we are able to do that. But right now we're spraying very wide. So you want to put the cities that you're able to service, like Chrissy says, okay, if she can have a network, put 4 cities in there. Well, we can spray wide potentially in Utah once Utah opens up, and then she'll be open to more leads. But once you put in those cities and you cast your net, then we're casting our net, and we're trying to basically catch the overlap on the areas that you can service.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, Cheryl. All right, you guys, anything else at all, or are we ready to go crush it?
Crush it.
That's it. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to send everyone who signed up. So right now we have 114 people, which is great, that are a part of our agent referral network. I think there's 1 or 2. Coosdale put her name in twice, so that disqualifies her from being in the program. I'm just kidding.
It gives me a bonus lead because I'm so easy.
Yeah, so 115 people now. Someone else just filled out. So I'm going to send an email to everyone, and we're going to just kind of outline how everything's going to work. I'm going to put the phone number in again because there's obviously quite a few people that have signed up that aren't on the Zoom. And I'm going to also send the recording. I'm going to turn the recording into YouTube and send it. And we're welcome, like, get other people in, as many. I mean, we want to get up to a couple hundred people in the referral network across the country. And the more leads we're able to generate, the more people to take these leads, the more we're gonna grow this.
So, well, Lee, what about the agent to agent referral aspect of this? Are we gonna just maintain that through the Modern Agent Blueprint Facebook group? You know what I mean? Like, say I have
its price.
I have a Utah referral. I know Chrissy, but say I didn't, I didn't know who I wanted to give that to. Will we be maintaining that communication through the Facebook group, or is there going to be another method of doing that? Like looking for an agent in a certain state?
Nicole and I talked about that this morning before this call, and I think we're going to create a subgroup within the group.
Okay.
That's just going to be the agent referral.
I like that. Guys, I'm so sorry. I have to run, guys. I'll see you later. Thank you, guys.
We could talk for hours, right?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all that in the email that I send out later. I'm going to send an email up by the end of the week.
Okay.
Melissa, you didn't show your face once today. Come on. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right, guys.
You guys have an awesome day, and we will talk to you soon. I think next week we have Leslie Perot is going to be on. Leslie Hodge Perot.
Is she? Oh, I love her.
She's amazing. She does a ton of Instagrams, and she's a rock star. And I think she's in in her 40s, or a little bit. She's not like a 20-something, and she just crushes it with all of her Instagram reels, and she's going to be amazing next week. So you guys have an awesome day, and we will see you soon.
Lee, are you